What's up? It's your boy, I know Mercy, that Mad Hatter. I am back again, finally, on the computer. I got a webcam. If you watched my last video, then you know I have it. Okay. But I want to talk about today something I've actually been thinking about for a while now. It's not video game. It's kind of video game related, I guess you can say that, but it's mostly about a web series that I've been watching a lot lately. It's probably my favorite web series going right now. It would be, of course, Death Battle. Death Battle is, if you don't, if you don't know, Death Battle is um, a web show from Screw Attack where they pick two separate characters from different media, video games, comic books, anime, cartoons, movies, whatever, and well, have them fight to the death. I always thought I really actually do like this premise. It's dead, but honestly, it's Deadly's Warrior except for fictional characters, which is actually really cool. I think. And honestly, I think it has more both entertainment. It has more entertainment value than Deadly's Warrior actually had, because at least in my opinion, when Deadly's Warrior started using actual historical people instead of just like warrior classes, that's when it started getting kind of boring. I don't know. I liked Deadly Warrior for a while, but the show actually got canceled without me actually even knowing it got canceled. I just stopped watching it after a while. And Death Battle, I think, is honestly a far superior show, which is kind of hilarious considering Deadly Warrior was a network television show. I mean, it was on Spike, but still, it was still a network show. And and Death Battle is just it's just a show on the internet. I mean, it's Screw Attack, so it has some clout behind it. Screw Attack, of course, being one of the um, most prominent video game content websites, I guess. They do reviews, but they do more stuff than just review video games. They just have a bunch of different video game content out there. So there's so it did have something behind it, and as the series went on, it did of course get more complex and more detailed. What I actually found probably the most interesting about, and probably the saddest thing about Deadliest War is that Death Battle seems to actually do more research concerning its combatants than Deadliest Warrior did. I mean, and that's just fucking sad because Death Battle is dealing with people who don't exist. I mean, Deadliest Warrior actually had real warriors fighting. It had George Washington, Napoleon, Joan of Arc, Hannibal, and Death Battle has. Well, the next fight is Samus Aran versus Boba Fett, which is actually a remake of their first fight. I actually didn't watch Death Battle. I didn't learn about Death Battle until there were a couple episodes in. I think the first one I saw was fuck, what was it? It was a Mortal in Rogue. It was maybe it was Mortal in Rogue. I don't remember, but it was one of the earlier ones, like fifth or sixth. I don't know. But then I went back and watched all the past battles, and I fell in love with it. It's honestly a really great series, and it's really funny with the two announcers, Wiz and Boomstick. Boomstick especially, uh I want to say he's uh, Wiz and Boomstick actually remind me a lot of Chris Freely and Howard Buckshot Holmes from not Death Mad World, one of my favorite Wii games. And and if you play that game, then you know that they were, of course, that Kreese was played by John DiMaggio, and Howell was played by Greg Proops. And they improvised a lot of the lines from the game. In fact, I'm pretty sure that the entire um, credit sequence at the end of the game is just them screwing around. And in Wiz and Boomstick really do remind me a lot of Kreese and Howard and yeah, Wiz and Boomstick actually do remind me a lot of Howard and Kreese. Except Wiz obviously is, he's the wizard, he's the smart one, and Boomstick is just there to be funny, I guess. I mean, they both have really funny moments, but Boomstick really does just bring the funny to a whole nother level, especially the Vat Man argument from the Soul Bad Guy Ragnar the Blood Edge fight. I swear to God, I actually had to stop the video because I was laughing so hard from that bit. Um, but I'm not just here to talk about to praise Death Battle because everyone knows that Death Battle is a really good show. Like I said, they do a lot of their research. They formulate some really interesting conclusions, and they come up with some really great scenarios and fights, especially for the animated fight scene that they show at the end of each character's analysis to show who would actually win in a fight. But the research and the analysis and the fight itself are actually what I wanted to talk about today. Because even though Death Battle is wildly popular, it's personally it's pretty much the only thing I actually watch from Screw Attack. I will occasionally watch some of their other content. I'll maybe watch Countdown here or there, or the occasional best of, or the best thing ever, or worst thing ever, or the what we love or what we hate segments of those type of videos they show. But it's mostly I subscribed to to Screw Attack's YouTube channel because almost solely for Death Battle. And well, when you're as popular as I think Death Battle has become, it not only do you get fans, you get a lot of people, you get a lot of detractors. That's just how these things go. You get people who love you, and then you get people who want to nail you to a fucking cross. And I think Death Battle especially kind of painted this target on themselves because they aren't just a show. Like, they aren't a review show like Spoonie or Yahtzee or whatever. They are actually they're creating essentially a debate and then basically shutting the debate down. They're saying who would win, character number A or character number B, having no fights and then actually telling you. Now, personally, I always just kind of accept whatever conclusion they come to, even if I don't agree with it. Like Wonder Woman versus Rogue, which I can't. Wonder Woman versus Rogue, I didn't completely agree that Wonder Woman wouldn't be able to beat Rogue. Or the Princess Peach versus Princess Zelda fight. Again, that's just me. I like Peach. I like Zelda over Peach, and I thought Zelda could probably beat Peach in that particular circumstance. But honestly, even though I agree with the Mario versus Sonic fights, I'm not sure Tails could have actually beaten Luigi. But that's just me. But here's the thing: when I don't agree with Death Battle, I don't whine like a petulant little brat. I just don't. Because I'm a fucking adult. And, like, maybe the people who are complaining aren't adults, and I guess that would excuse it. somewhat, a little, depends on how old they are. Like, if you're over 12, you really have no excuse. You just don't. Like, if you're actually arguing, okay, well, take the newest death battle that came last week. Gara versus Toph. I was always rooting for Toph, because I don't like Naruto. I just don't. I watched a few episodes of the anime. I read up until the 50th chapter monthly Shonen Jump. Never went online to read the manga scans. I just didn't care. I didn't like Naruto that much. I didn't like any of the side characters that much. I liked Sasuke somewhat. I liked Kakashi and I liked Hinata. I really didn't like anyone else. I mean, I say I like Sasuke, but he was kind of a pain in the ass too. So was Sakura and especially Naruto. But like Gaara, I knew almost nothing about. I knew he controlled sand. I knew he was apparently scary as all fuck. But other than those two things, I knew nothing about the dude. But Toph, I have been a fan of Avatar: The Last Airbender since about halfway through book one. Um, we didn't have cable when the show first came out, and I actually came in late, but I've been watching it ever since I was able to, I guess. And Toph was always one of my favorite characters. Not my absolute favorite character, honestly. Actually, no, yeah, Toph is probably my favorite character. Uh, fuck it. But, point is, I knew a lot about Toph, and I knew all about her capabilities and everything she was capable of doing, so I I just kind of assumed that Toph would win, just apropos of nothing. Um, then I actually watched the battle and learned more about Gaara and what he can do, and I actually started thinking that maybe Gaara could actually beat Toph. I wasn't sure, but then, she kicked his ass. Literally just suffocated him in his own sand armor, and just, yeah, it was a great move. I loved that. Point is, even before the fight started, they were ravenous about this fight. People just, um, I mean, everyone was certain that, not everyone, but all the Naruto fans, which is a very large number of Screw Attack's fan base apparently, were sure that Gaara would win. So, you can imagine what happened when he didn't. Bitching and moaning all over the place. Just constantly. Like, you go down to the comments, it's fucking disgraceful. And I'll admit, some of the arguments are fair, but a lot of it was just, bruh, Tom shouldn't have won. Gara is awesome and blah blah. Fuck you. Okay? Gara lost. That's just a thing that happened. Besides that, it's not like they actually lost in like an in-canon fight. I think people don't really realize this. Death Battle isn't the final authority on these things. They're just one group of guys' opinion on what would happen if these two people fought. But this obviously is nothing compared to the Goku Superman fight. Oh my god, that was pathetic. People were still arguing about that long after that fight happened. I remember I was with a bunch of my friends and a shouting match, an actual fucking shouting match happened between people who thought Goku should have won and Superman should have won, and it was fucking ridiculous. It was kind of hilarious actually. One thing about me is that I really wouldn't say an anarchist. I guess an entropist. I like chaos. I like things degrading further, and when things just get like when things are at their absolute worst, that's when I am entertained. Like real talk, wanted. I'm not kidding about this. During the 2008 election, I didn't want Obama to win, not because I didn't think he'd be a good president. Honestly, I didn't think either candidate was a very good president because I think all politicians are dumbasses and really have no reason to be in the position of how they are. But I wanted McCain to win solely because the Republicans have been doing such a shitty job running the country. I wanted to see just how badly things could get with them still in power. I am not kidding. That's honestly what I thought. Um, but but with Death Battle, it's funny at first, and then it just gets annoying because it's really selective what people are mad at. I don't think like after a while people kept saying that Death Battle is biased or they just randomly pick um, whatever fighter they think should win and don't actually do any research, which is bizarre considering that before the actual fight there is at least 10 minutes of research given, really detailed research given, that's even fans of whatever character probably didn't know about. And they even introduced a new Desco Death Battle show where one of the researchers actually talks about shit that she found about each combatant that isn't well known to the general public and shit. Like, like the whole Godzilla being the reincarnation of all the souls that died in the Hiroshima bombings, the Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Is that it? I don't know. I'm terrible at history. Bombings, and that's apparently what Godzilla was supposed to be, and it's kind of hilarious because I think a lot of people do know that, but you would have to actually really research this shit to actually find that out. Like, I don't think you're gonna find that on Wikipedia, mostly because Wikipedia is awful. And it's fucking hilarious watching people say Death Battle is biased and they don't actually do research, or they do really cursory research when they'll like pull out something really obscure that will allow whatever combatant to win. Like Top versus Guard is it's bad, but it's about on par with people being pissed off when Kirby beat Boo. That was hilarious. Not because um, the little 8-inch puffball of cuteness beat apparently the most evil thing in Dragon Ball. I don't give a fuck. That isn't it. It was the reaction people had to Kirby beating Boo. It was it was fucking hilarious. Like people keep saying that um Death Battle is biased against anime. Like anime characters never win against Western characters, which is stupid and wrong. Since um, there have been times when anime characters have beaten American characters. I can't like think of any off the top of my well. The only one I can think of off the top of my head is when the Gundam Epion beat the Tiger Zord. Like that pissed me off personally because I was a huge Power Rangers fan when I was a kid, and I knew fuck all about Gundam. I never got into Gundam. I don't know anything about Gundam. I know what that one signature Gundam looks like, and it uses a beam sword and a shield, and that's it. I don't know anything else about Gundam. So to see that with Gundam that is essentially like half the Tiger Sword's size, just cut it in half. I was pissed. I didn't, but again, I didn't leave rude comments saying that Death Battle was biased against um against Power Rangers or some shit, or that they make up their research, because I don't know how they research, and it doesn't really fucking matter because it's a web show. And yeah, I get it. And yeah, I get it. Um, Geeks tend to blow everything out of proportion. I blow things out of proportion sometimes. I rage when I am truly angry at something. Like, I will just go the fuck off, but fuck, you saw how much I can rage. Just watch my day one patch video, okay? I went the fuck off on that video. You know, anyone who saw that knows how much I can rage. But I try and keep my rage contained. Don't always succeed, but I try. The rage against Day One patch, that's justified in my mind, because it is complete and utter bullshit. It is the stupidest goddamn thing. But Death Battle, it's a stupid show. It's just a show. And, you shouldn't be mad at this. I mean, you can get mad at it, I guess. Like, I've gotten mad at myself. I've told you that I have. But, like, attacking, like, it's actually attacking the show, saying they're biased or they should get fired or canceled or whatever. That's stupid. There's no other way to get there. That's stupid. And also, I think a lot of people don't realize something actually that Wiz and Boomstick talked about in a Q&A video they did a couple years ago. Something that either newer fans haven't seen, older fans never watched, or people just forgot, or they purposely ignore. Because people do that. They just tune. Because people do that. Sometimes they just tune shit out. They don't want to know. They don't want to actually hear the thing that completely destroys their argument because they're assholes. That's just it. They're assholes. But the thing people, I think, don't realize or forget is that the fight they show at the end of each episode that decides how the who the winner is doesn't actually decide who the winner is. That's just a fight for our entertainment. Like, again, going back to Deadliest Warrior, the little fight simulator thing they show, that doesn't actually decide who actually won the fight. That's a visual representation of all the data they've collected. All the data, which is actually bullshit in that case, but for the most part, I'm not gonna go back to that. The fight is something to entertain us, because instead of just going over all the statistics and weapons and analysis and profiling, all that shit, and just saying, this is all the shit this person can do, this is all the shit this other person can do, this is who wins, and here's how. No. Like, that would be boring. It would be boring and no one would watch. I might watch because I think shit like this is kind of interesting, but the fights themselves are to entertain us, and I think they are why Death Battle is as popular as they are, because the animated fights have gotten much, much better since Death Battle first started. And just to prove that point, like I said, they're remaking the Samus versus Boba Fett fight. with fully 3D rendered graphics and all that fun stuff. Apparently, Samus is going to be in their Zero Suit, which is cool. And um, and people don't realize that isn't how the fight went. That's just showing both fighters fighting at their full potential, using every ability they can think of. Like okay, going back to the Gara versus Toph fight. One thing that one person actually did a video response about was that Gara moved too slow. That he's a faster combatant. That he wouldn't move as slow as they showed him. Well, yeah, you're probably right. There's actually a really good, legitimate reason why Death Battle showed Gara moving as slowly as they did. That's as fast as they can have the sprite animate, asshole! Like, like the reason Gara didn't move as fast as he could in the anime is because that's as fast as they can make that particular Gara sprite go. Like that isn't how the fight between Gara and Toph would actually go. Like I mean, it might have, maybe, but probably not. Like even going back to the Pokemon Starter Battle Royal, the three-way between Charizard, Ivysaur, and Blastoise, they actually showed statistics of multiple battles that could have happened where each Pokemon won, and they just went with the Pokemon that won the most times in each hypothetical battle and showed one way that battle could have gone. That isn't how that actual fight would have gone down if these particular characters fought. It's it's just entertainment. They're just showing because of her strength, skill, and taking into account her weaknesses, Toph is just stronger than Gara. That's that's all the animation is supposed to represent. That when you come down, right down to it, Toph is a stronger fighter than Gara. That's the point of this fucking up. That's the fucking point of this show, to prove the show who could win in a fight. The actual animation is not a representation of how the actual fight would go down. It's entertainment for us, so we can see how it could possibly go down if these two ever actually fought. It's not concrete. It's not saying that this is definitely what would happen. It's just saying if these two did fight, this is what might happen. Like, and yeah, there's some stupid shit in there, like Toph wrapping herself in metal with a cord. How the fuck she do that? It doesn't matter. She could do that, and it might protect her from Gara's sand burial attack. Maybe, I don't know. But like everything else, I don't know. Maybe that's how it will go on. I know that this is in fact how Toph can and does fight. I don't know how Gara fights because I don't know anything about Gara. I'm going off of what Death Battle has shown. So it's actually kind of rare that I watch a death battle where I do actually know how both combatants would actually fight, like Mario and Sonic or Harry Potter and Luke Skywalker. Um, RoboCop. No, actually, I don't actually know that much about RoboCop. That I never saw. Real talk, I never actually watched RoboCop all the way through. I tried to watch it, but I stopped for some reason. I don't remember why, but whatever. The point is, well, I guess the main point of this is shut the fuck up. Stop complaining about goddamn Death Battle. No one cares. Wiz and Boostlick don't care. Screw Attack doesn't care. Fuck, they're giving Death Battle more shows. They got, like I said, they got Death Skip Death Battle. They got 1 Minute Melee, which really is just biased. We're picking one character and having them win because we want to animate two people fighting because it's cool. You ungrateful fucks. And that's what a lot of these people are. They're just ungrateful fucks. And I'm not talking about anyone out there who has legitimate criticism against the results. Not Death Battle itself, the results. You actually have a well constructed argument about why Gara or not Starscream, but I'll get to that in a second. But not why Gara or Boo or Zelda or even Goku would have won. Personally, I don't think you actually have much of an argument with Superman versus Goku. I mean, come on. Just fucking come on. It's Superman. Fucking Superman. He held two. Alright, but one thing I have noticed, the people who say that Death Battle is biased or makes up the results, they only seem to say that when the character they like loses, or a character from a franchise they're really invested in loses. Like, I didn't hear much rage when Rainbow Dash beat Starscream. There was a little bit of rage because, bronies. People really hate bronies. I mean, come on, guys. Like, a lot of bronies are really goddamn annoying. Like, if you're one of those moderates, like, you're a fan and you make videos, but you don't, like, shove it down everyone's throat, I'm cool with you. I'm not cool with people who make ponies out of every fucking character under the sun, but apparently that's a new rule of the internet. Rule 63, Rule 36, if there's one of it exists, Rule whatever the fuck, there's a pony version of every character. Apparently that's just a new rule of the internet. But I didn't hear much outcry when it was when Peach killed Zelda. No outcry when Spawn beat Kratos. Very little when Soul Bad Guy beat Ragna. You sure Death Battle's the one who's biased here, dudes? I'm just saying. You might want to think about shit like this. Like, you're so invested in this one particular character, you're just absolutely certain they're gonna win. Honestly, who's the biased one here? Just something to think about. But me personally, I'm gonna keep watching Death Battle, I'm going to keep enjoying Death Battle, and I'm going to keep getting endless amounts of amusements from all of your fanboy hate. I know Mercy the Mad Hatter. Later.